Welcome to the Snippets podcast, where we have normal chats with interesting people. And on this episode, we've got Summer Chard and her mum Liane. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So we'll get straight into it, Summer, really. You're here to talk about being a stroke survivor. And you're 16 now.
Yes, now I'm 16.
And this all happened to you back in March 2023, the 17th?
Yep.
When you're only 13.
Yeah.
I suppose the first question is, how are you feeling now?
Well, I'm feeling so much better, honestly. Life has changed in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I think I'm 1,000 times more positive than I was before, 100%.
Yeah, good.
But if you'd ask me, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But then in some days, I do struggle.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Going to the yard, have my horses, it's like, the yard is like my happy place.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So if you want to sort of take us back then to 2023, I assume no one knows this sort of stuff's going to happen. It's a complete shock. Yeah. I suppose you wake up normally on the 17th of March.
3 years ago seemed so far away.
Yeah.
I'm so much more older and mature, but yeah, literally on the 17th of March in the morning, around 10:30, I would say.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a cold anyways, but it was my uncle's wedding the next day. And I was like, I'll have a sneaky day off school. Mum's like, it's fine.
As you do.
And then, because I was going to be tired
all the
next
hot
day.
gossip coming out now.
Yeah,
Exclusive.
But things happen for a reason.
I'm sure they'll let you off.
It did. I said to Mum, imagine it happened in the morning, so I would have been at school.
Okay.
And imagine it happened.
So it was a school day then? It would have been like a, wow.
It was Friday, and then the wedding was on Saturday. And then I literally had my breakfast, put it on the side, bled down, and I was just feeling really tired. I had a restless night's sleep anyways. My leg was tingling. It was weird. And then I literally sat on the sofa and my arms just started to literally, it was my shoulders that hurt. You know, when you just I was like, oh, it's nothing. You don't think of it whatsoever.
You said you had pins and needles.
Yeah, really bad. And then I couldn't do anything to stop it. So I was like, Dad was on the wall, well, try this. I'm like, Mum, that's not working. Yeah. And I was stretching. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then literally it went. I was like, perfect, it's gone. And then the sofa literally just went dead.
Right.
I was just sat like this.
Wow.
Well, I said to you to go to
gradually
bed.
Mum just go up to bed.
So at this point, you just think you're ill.
Yeah.
I thought she was going down with the flu because you said you felt tingly to touch. So that's what happens when you got the flu, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I went up to bed. Mum shut my door and I was just led there
I didn't just shut the door.
You just said go to sleep. Once I'm awake, I couldn't go back to sleep.
Right, okay.
If it's light. Yeah. Then Harry came up, checked on me, and then he was like, do you want to sit up? And I literally couldn't sit up. I was literally just led there. Right. And then he ran down, got Mum and Dad, and then it all escalated from there, really.
Wow. So do you remember much I
remember literally every single day.
Wow. So what happens next then? Obviously you feel terrible.
I would say we called family members. We called Nan. Nan thought I had meningitis.
I think we were calling because we needed to check her temperature.
Yeah, we had nothing.
You just kind of call on your family, don't you, to see, what could this be? Someone's feeling like she can't move her arms.
Just have a little check the temperature. I was having paracetamol, loads of different things.
Yeah.
And then we were at this point, it was I can't sit up. We got to try and I never go to the hospital. That we're not that type of family to go to the hospital for
no.
finger.
No.
And we were okay, we've got to go to the hospital. It's quite serious. Called 999, and then they were I'll be 4 hours. I was we can't wait 4 hours. So the mum was we have to go down. So Dad, I think I walked. I was literally this. So Dad and Mum were and Harry holding me.
So it's more your arms then at that point that weren't working.
And I didn't really know about my legs because I was just led down.
Your legs was okay, but I think it's important to also say that obviously when I thought of stroke, I just thought if Summer or any of us would have a stroke, her face would drop.
Well, I would imagine it to be an older person as well. Yeah. This is why this story is quite unique, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so you didn't have any face drooping or anything. The one thing was she couldn't get her arms up.
I just couldn't sit up. It just literally my description was literally there's a rock. My top of my head body was so heavy. Oh, my leg, because we never knew if my legs were affected because I was let down for 2.5-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I never really could get up. So I was I think it was just my hips to my neck.
Yeah.
But it was weird. I did halfway through hospital, my eye was kind of twitching, and I think this one kind of goes a little bit.
So you get to hospital then, and then what do they do there?
It's horrible. I sat there by myself, crying.
So at that point you was paralysed from waist. waist to neck, nothing was working. So
my neck, I was like that because I couldn't. My neck was so heavy, and they put me in a room. I hate needles. They took.
I think it was.
And I fell asleep. I think. Didn't
you fell asleep, but there was just doctors, nurses in and out, and you heard.
But they started to sort of realise then that something wasn't quite
they
normal.
thought it was transverse
myelitis is what I ended up Googling, because you hear all the doctors talking and running around, and I'm thinking I can hear things, but they're not telling us what's going on.
What's that then? Is that some form of like paralysis or something?
Yeah, so it's like an infection in the spine that basically inflames the spine, which then puts pressure on all the nerves, which stops your body technically working. But what would happen is if you then had steroids, that would then reduce the swelling, which would bring back your movement. Okay. So that's what we was told.
I don't think I mentioned this, but it was a spinal stroke, right?
Yeah.
So that's slightly different to like a normal, I don't know what's a normal stroke, but like...
so basically up here, so C3 to C7.
Yeah.
So if it was, I think it was lower down, it'd be my legs. If it was higher up, it might be my face.
So depending on where...
So a stroke is technically a stroke, but it depends whether or not if the clot reaches the brain or not, and it sounds so weird, but thankfully it didn't go past Summer's spine. It got to C3, so it didn't. Her brain wasn't affected.
Well, I think that's when my face it wasn't droopy or like.
So just to sort of like clarify for people that I mean I have no idea, but like a stroke is what, like a blood clot.
Yeah, so I had an MRI, and I basically have like a black. It's like, what is it?
So it's like a scarring on your. So what they found with Summer with a stroke, they then do test afterwards. Obviously, we've jumped a little bit here, but just in terms of the stroke, they ended up finding that Summer's got scarring on her spine, which could only be caused by a blood clot.
Oh wow!
So blood clots obviously travel through the body, and then they.
So that could just happen completely out of the blue.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've obviously now, they've sort of started to work out what might be going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose then you're just in hospital.
Yeah, like and I hate sleeping anywhere else.
Yeah.
Do they sort of say, right, we'll keep you in then for the time being to monitor you and stuff?
We're going to stay in for a night. I was like, okay, I'll be back home tomorrow morning. You messaged
Auntie's wedding in the morning.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to be able to go. And we were like, 100%. I got my wedding dress. I tried everything on the night before. Like, I got like pictures of me and I was so excited. And then I was like, oh my God, what the hell? Imagine I don't make it. But then I was like, oh, I'll be positive. Yeah. But I'll have some, they gave me some like medicine and I'll be fine for the morning.
Yeah.
And then I don't really know what happened the next morning.
So, we were told...
It was the weekend, so you couldn't really, like, see anyone.
Yeah, so we were told that night that Summer's been treated for transverse myelitis. That's what they had said. Right. So we sent all of our friends and family messages saying, we're not going to tell you what it is, but we think that they know what it is and we'll be out as soon as possible. So they started Summer on like an intensive steroid drip. Right. So they put steroids into the body to be able to bring the inflammation down. So that's when on the next day we're booked in for a lumbar puncture to see whether or not there was anything that they could find out. Obviously we knew then.
Day 2, they do the wedding. Obviously it's happening. You don't go to the wedding.
No.
You have a lumbar puncture.
You got sedated for lumbar puncture, but that's like you have a lumbar puncture and you don't get the results straight away. So that's like a couple of weeks down the line. But we're still in hospital. Summer is not moving, so we're now kind of adapting to life of us needing to feed Summer.
Is this becoming a bit of a worry then at this point? Because like they don't really know. Do we know it's a stroke at this point in day 2 or?
No, we didn't know until a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so we know that obviously Summer's led, they're not able to move, and I think it's important to say Summer was a gymnast. Yeah. Done, a horse rider.
And then I was like, I can't even spend like a couple hours without her.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see her, of course.
Yeah. So I think questions we were asking, will Summer ever gain movement back in her hands and arms again? What is going on? And no one could say. You were obviously clearly really upset because of she couldn't use her arms or hands.
And I really I hate when people like feed me. I just like I'm 13. I don't need that.
I think the thing is as well, you're 13. You're at school. You're just living a normal life. You're doing gymnastics, horses, and then suddenly overnight, bang, you're
and that's what people don't get
in a hospital bed.
Because it literally changed in the matter of like 5 minutes.
What were you thinking then? Like, obviously at this point, your mum and dad are really worried.
I don't really
And you're
know.
like, you've had...
I kind of shut off, like, I remember everything hospital, but I kind of shut off in there. I don't know. I don't really, because I've never really been in there. She was like, oh my God, there's so many people around. And there was like people like shouting. I just couldn't, like, I couldn't sleep at all.
You in your own room or?
No, we never had our own room. We had just like, you had a whole room, like just a curtain. So we probably had like this space.
Yeah. Wow. So once they've worked out that it's not this, what did you call it?
Transverse. So the transverse myelitis. So that was, we had to go through 5 days of intense.
Yeah, that was the next thing.
So I think that when you said how did Summer manage, I do think there's something to do with the human body that you just adapt so quickly to that way of life, and we just adapted.
Because I never really cried. Like, I think I only cried because I just wanted to go and see Sims.
Yeah, you'd had it.
I didn't really like. I like some people were shouting. I was like, it's not going to get you anywhere. Like, it's not going to get, like, if you're shouting, it's not going to like make time up. Like, I don't know. I kind of just go on with it, really.
Yeah.
I think you were just so focused on getting better. I don't think as parents we can see what's happening, and I think that you think of everything that what life might look like. I think children are just in the moment. So you had a week of intravenous of antibiotics.
That was just every day. That was for 5 days.
So they're still trying to work out here what's going on.
They said within those 5 days what will happen is the swelling will go down in her spine. So she did have an MRI scan. So we found out there was inflammation on the spine. We didn't know it was a stroke. They said, right, we're going to bring the inflammation down, and then her hands and arms will start working again, and she'll make a recovery. So every day we were like, fab, right, Summer, can you move a finger? And nothing was moving. I later found out that we were being, Reading Hospital were being guided by John Radcliffe, because John Radcliffe were very much, they were able to support Summer in terms of paediatric
They've
stroke
got a paediatric, quite a strong paediatric centre up there, haven't they?
Yeah, so they were being guided, and I think everything that Reading were being told to do wasn't working. So we got to day 5, and that's when we got told that's when we knew it was serious. We're getting transferred to John Radcliffe, and they will take over the care.
So do you start to worry again then? Like, because you're thinking by day 5, like you were saying, day 1, I'll be at this wedding tomorrow.
And I've never been in ambulance, because they said you had to go in ambulance, had like the sirens on, we're off. I was like, oh, it's good. It's not. In my head, I'm like, it's not that serious. Like, come on, I don't need to be. People, like, I know this is a really bad, like, position I was in, but some people have really in life and death experience. Like, why are they taking me in this ambulance?
But I suppose that tells you how serious it was then, really. So you get taken to the JR then. And then what happens then?
I think Dad came in with me, didn't he? Because only one person. I think I was in a baby's ward, so that was horrendous, because I was just crying. But I think that's when I really struggled, when I was in there, because I was like, it was really dark and dingy. I was like, can't do this. That was horrible.
I think that was the worst experience. I think that's when I knew this is serious, and I don't know what life's going to hold for us, is because of, we got to JR, it was quite late, wasn't it? And we had, I think, 10 consultants come in, and they within moments explained who each one was and what department they were from, and they were here. Basically, what I later found out, there was a triage, and they were coming to assess Summer and find out, go to panel, and then decide amongst themselves, do they think it's transverse or do they think it's a stroke? And that was the first time, I think, we'd then found out.
So, I mean, as a parent then, do you get kind of briefed on what's going on a lot of the time, or are you just like, as you say, there's this panel of 10 people, they just then arrive and talk to you, like, or do you have any idea of what's going on, or are you completely kind of like working out as you're going along?
Yeah, you're just trying to pick out bits that they're saying, taking notes of the big words that they're saying. And I'm looking at Summer, and I'm just thinking, why can't they have these conversations outside of this? Why can't they do the assessments and go and then speak to us? But they're saying all these big words, and that's when I heard stroke. And then I heard them deciding who was who, and each one of them took their turn to do an assessment on Summer, whether or not she could feel hot and cold, whether or not her legs would work. She had a catheter fitted at this point as well.
That was horrible.
Getting her hands to move, and asking her question over question, and I kept thinking, just get off my little girl, leave her alone. And I think that's what was hard, wasn't it? Because you still didn't know. They went to triage, didn't they? That group that came in went to triage and basically came back the next day, and the outcome was the majority of the votes after the assessment was that it was a stroke and it was a transverse, because of the steroids would have had an effect, but Summer was still paralysed at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say actually, like, you know, like obviously that we got up to about 5 days, but then beyond that, I mean, how long were you actually in hospital for?
3 weeks.
3 and a bit weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, so what happened, if you don't mind me asking, to your body when you've been doing nothing with your body for 3 weeks?
I don't really know. Well, I've always been active. Like, I never can sit down.
Are you independently eating at this point, or like are you still having to be?
No, I kind of was just. I always tried myself. I always found a way. I always adapted. I might have looked weird. I always say I look weird, and now sometimes I do things, but like I always tried. So I did. At this point, I did feed myself, and then when I was in John Radcliffe, I think I couldn't. It really the first maybe 4 days, I was really struggling because I was in baby water, couldn't sleep, had headphones in, eye mask, it was horrible. Yeah. And I was crying I cried every day anyways, but like it was just a, I don't know, habit maybe. I just I cry all the time. Yeah. But like, and then I moved to the
probably right to say, by the way. It's fine.
I do.
No harm in that, is it? I've had a stroke.
So then I moved to the teenage ward, and I was so happy there. Yeah. I was like, it's amazing.
Made it
woke up, made my bed every day. Yeah. There was a prep down there, so I ate prep every day. And then this when people started to come in because I wanted to see.
So you're starting to kind of like be able to get up.
Yeah, and then I did actually start walking, and then it was nice because we had a plan. Every day was like, then Laurie came in, call her Laurie. She came in, Nan came in, and it was just like. It was like normal, like a normal day, and it was actually all right. And then I was like, I need to see Cindy now, and I had pictures of her, and I was like, I need to go and see her.
So just a bit of context here. We've talked about Cindy, the pony.
Yeah. I call her Cindy,
but that's your pony, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
She's not. She's just like my.
I think it's just quickly to say to Nick. I think that because of obviously going from being paralysed to then clearly, as you can see now, Summer has movement in her arms. I think that once we got told it's a stroke and that actually we had another MRI scan to confirm the damage was on C2 to C3.
Yeah. C2 to C7.
C2 to C7, I always get that wrong. That was then they said, right, actually it's down to you now. Yeah. So there's nothing we can do. Yeah, this is what
I wanted to say, really. I wanted to sort of just so that people understand. It sounds like you're very strong-minded because definitely. You didn't let this kind of stop you from the get-go. Maybe it's being 13 and being like kind of like not really understanding the magnitude of what the hell was going on. Yeah. Your will to get out of bed, make your bed, see people do stuff. Obviously that's you doing that. But I mean, again, just flipping it back to your sort of the start of your recovery, do they start to give you any help with that in the hospital as well? Like if you're there for 3 weeks, do they go, right, we want to get Summer out of bed, we're going to start doing this, or we're going to start doing that?
I knew they were honestly like some people there, like I would still go back to them, be like, thank you, like see them.
I think what's really important here is there is no childhood stroke registry. So under the age of 18, there's no support for children with stroke. So everyone's learning. John Radcliffe was learning, and there's anyone that has any child under the age of 18 or any child who has a stroke, their numbers are not put into anywhere. So there's no research and that's happening. So they don't really know.
This is because it's so rare, right?
Yeah, and it is. I think Summer's like a 0.25% for spinals.
We never knew, but I think then we done a lot of research and was like we found some people.
Well, I saw one of your stories on Instagram, and is it like that? It's a 0.01 survival rate.
It's like I done this thing, and it was
God. That gives me like goosebumps.
It's like it's even tinier than like I don't know. Tiny things.
Yeah. Because it's so rare that it happens, but it's so rare to survive.
Yeah.
And I think then
and it's so rare to come out, like I'm not 100% like this hand doesn't work, and I got really like weak left tricep, and like I sometimes too bad, I don't really feel sad really. It's
you
like
do,
get in my head.
You do have moments, and I think that
and
the thing that helped us and helped Summer is that she is so determined and so focused. So the minute we knew there was nothing medically that can help Summer, it was down to Summer as an individual and us as family to get her moving.
Yeah.
And what they said is every time the nerves are damaged, they don't know what nerves will come back, which is why she's paralysed.
So is that a lot of the issue then? It's nerve damage that gets right.
Well, and in this point, I was like, do you know what? My hands don't work; they don't work. And then I can I've seen it's called para riding when they like ride horses, and like some people like can't move their legs, like or some people don't have arms. So I was like, I'll just ride with my mouth.
Yeah.
I've seen people ride with their mouth. I was like, I'll adapt to it, and I was like, okay, it's fine. If I have to live like this forever, I will.
Yeah.
So I kind of did just literally go with it.
So we just made it Summer made it her mission. She was going to get up and there's that thing, isn't there? You probably know that guy says like first thing in the morning you make your bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Summer got up and made her hospital bed and she refused to get back in that until bedtime.
Yeah. It's not
Was that just all your own back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And they said in hospital for Summer with a stroke, they said in order for her to receive the rehab work, physio and OT, she had to be an inpatient.
Right.
So they wanted us in for another 6 weeks so that they can monitor Summer.
I was going to ask this, how do you get let out then? How do they get to the point of going?
Kindly discharged.
Because they can't offer you the support unless you stay longer.
Yeah. Well, we did have physio. We had it once, twice. I don't know.
So
and it was like for 5 minutes, like tap your fingers. Like, oh my god, that's gonna work.
So when you get to that point, then you're medically well enough to go home.
Yeah, I could walk. They wanted me to walk, and I had my catheter out, so they needed me to like go to the toilet by myself.
Yeah,
that was a big thing. And then
I bet it took a while to get around there, didn't it? You probably weren't just like buzzing about. You probably like.
Well, and then it got the first last day, and I was like, oh my god, look, I can move my hands. I was chucking them up in the air. I was like, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then like Harry had a great time whizzing me around the hospital. We went off like in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like, I had really good fun.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. And then I think I was like, I need to get back home to see Sins.
I think that actually, when we decided, it was tough because I thought, am I making the worst decision? Is Liane and I making the worst decision, taking someone out of hospital?
Yeah.
But it got to a point that I thought her mental health was going to take a massive knock if I couldn't get her home. Yeah. So I thought if we get home and adjust to our new normal life, we can get on now.
Yeah.
I felt the hospital was holding us back because
I've read stuff about that you kind of almost become a bit of, it's like Stockholm syndrome when you fall in love with your captor. So you're in this cocoon and you get quite comfortable.
Oh, you were?
So
safe as
you
well.
have to kind of, I would imagine, get out like
real life. Because it's like on holiday, you go on holiday, it's a completely different life. When you come back home, you're like, whoa, this is weird.
So post-hospital then, what is life like in that moment? You come home.
Back.
Yeah, so how does that...
Really bad.
Yeah.
Really hard.
So that sort of turned the other way then?
I wanted to leave not how I came in, I wanted to leave how I went. I can't explain.
Did you want to leave like a normal 13-year-old then?
I wanted to leave like normal because then I was like, I want to go home. It's like amazing. And then I got home, I was like, well, this is not normal.
Yeah. I mean, did you have a lot of support from your friends and stuff or?
Well, not really, no.
Really?
Yeah.
You did at the start.
I did at the start. I kind of picked and choose who I want to see because like, I don't want to see people I don't really see because I was different. And I felt, I think it wasn't because of it was like, I didn't want to see them. I think I felt I didn't want them like to feel bad. And like most people who came in really struggled because I'm very like everywhere. And I was like, they were really good, but they really struggled. And then.
I mean, that must be hard for you as well, Liane, and Lee, your husband, like to watch Summer obviously trying her best, but like you're kind of in control. I know it's difficult though, like you said, because you're probably like masking a lot of your own emotion to support everyone else. I still do now,
but then Mum don't know me too well. That like, are you okay?
I think you I think the hardest thing, not only did Summer have to go through the stroke, have to deal with it, not on her own, but she's the one that's dealing with this, not us. Our hands and that are moving. Yeah. Summer said, all because of me, all of you have had to stop. But so then you've had to go through all of those.
So like guilt.
That guilt for her as well.
But you shouldn't feel guilty, should you really?
No,
It's not your fault. So,
that's what I mean.
So let's talk about your horse then, because we've talked about this poor horse.
So I had her, I had her 5 years this year, so I got her in 2021. Mm-hmm. And then, so I've had her, 2 years when I had my stroke. And then she's like everything to me, like, because that's why I feel school is also like, you probably think that it's hard for me, but like, I never really had a best friend because if I was always at the yard, I was very different to everyone anyways. When I got back, was it like the day after or the day, I think?
Yeah, the day.
I went straight away to go see her. The only thing I wanted to do is go see her. So I got her in for the field, and then this was like, this is hard because I can't even catch her in. I've done it for 2 years. And then the next day I was like, I want to get on.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not getting on that horse. Like, it's a horse.
Yeah.
She's thrown me off. She's like a massive animal.
Yeah.
She's a saint. Actually, I got back on and she was like walking. They had to like put me on.
So you got on?
Yeah, I got on.
You did get on the day after? Hell.
I was like,
Still
look,
couldn't really make
obviously that horse is
Horses are
insane.
amazing though, right?
So yeah, she knew. I was a really slow walker back then, like, because I couldn't really walk. She was walking. It's just crazy, honestly. Like, horses, it's just insane how they know. And dogs as well. Dogs knew, and it's...
So, like, you've sort of focused a lot of your energy then on
and then they were like...
stuff.
It was more about physio. I needed to tap my finger. I needed to do all physio. But then I kind of... I don't know. Dad always wanted me to be like... I had like a hand thingy. But I always thought it was always so boring. So I said, if I was at the yard... I went to the yard every day.
Yeah.
And she
so it's just
was
being
my
active,
physio.
like being out.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, if
100%.
anyone is watching this that may be going through the same thing, or as you would say that just like trying to, obviously positive mind is one thing, but then just getting out
outside,
there, being outside, fresh air.
Like, it might be different to other people, and I think I always say if it wasn't for Cindy, I wouldn't be here. Like, I would be here right now because I'm not that type of person, but like, I wouldn't be like, I don't think I would be this fit. And I wouldn't be able to move that as well. Like, she's got me to exactly like where I am now.
Yeah.
And I'm so positive. Like, if I feel bad, like sad, I go to the yard and I feel like 100 times better.
So do you still have to have physio then now, or?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Well, I probably should, but like at the yard, everything at the yard I do is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really strong. I go to the gym. I lift
have a
weights.
PT, don't you? You had PT for...
Yeah, I did. I had a PT because if I wanted, like, I was like, I don't want to be sat down tapping my fingers. I want to do like kind of weights because I feel like that's going to help.
So would you say that like maybe like the kind of support that you were given, whilst it was, great that you were given support from other places, it's maybe not really fit for purpose then?
No.
Like I mean, not to downplay what the NHS do, obviously you're here because of a lot of what they did, but like in terms of recovery and getting better, again, this is your story, so your message is you would be like, just maybe some of that isn't really what you need.
Irrelevant. I kind of, it might like...
Especially at your age, because this is the uniqueness of this. Like, you're not an old woman or a middle-aged woman or something. You are a young person.
Yeah,
so
100%.
You think that like what you're doing physically with your horse and mentally and stuff is probably more
100%.
what you should be
like,
doing.
Imagine we stayed in for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, what would have the outcome been there?
I think it's doing what you love. And I think one of the biggest things someone used to always say to me, I'd say, you need to, and Lee will always say, try and do it how you used to do it. But actually, Summer's found her way, and actually it's a new way. And I think it's so hard because you can say, well, when you're opening your drawer or do something, trying to open your hand, but like, it's difficult because that then reminds Summer. So she's finding your way now.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Are you still making obviously you're making progress.
Yeah, it's kind of, so they basically told us the first like couple months will be like every day you'll find a new thing, and then give it like a couple of years, you'll find everything every like 2 months. Like you either get it all there or you don't, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like now, like, this hand doesn't move, like, and I can't tap any fingers.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
It
see,
is
if
weird.
you
I
hadn't
look
have
at
told
it-
me, I wouldn't have noticed.
And
I
I've
don't
got
know.
a dominant hand as well.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes, like, the other day I said I was riding yesterday, I said I want to chop my arm off because it was annoying me. It goes out.
What about like writing and stuff then? If that is do you
I
write
can do
with your
everything.
left hand or right hand, or you just
I
found a way?
Oh, I can write my right hand, yeah.
And bear in mind,
I
that's
do
a
everything.
dominant hand, and her fingers she can't tap the fingers or move the fingers, but she's found her.
Yeah. So someone will look at like, what the hell, my arms can't move, but like, I don't actually really care.
Yeah.
Remember that time when we were in the yard, and this is when you think, oh, you've made all the progress and we're not going to make any more. And I dropped her off at the yard and she was waving with her left hand, and her left hand used to be like this. And this day she waved and she went, oh. I was like, what's that? She went, Mum, I'm waving. And her
it's just a
hand
little
was
thing.
completely, and
Yeah.
within nothing, you'd done nothing different that day, but just
it's at the yard,
something,
yeah.
and her hand waved.
So did your stroke cause more damage on one side than the other then? Was it?
It's really opposite. So like this tricep's really big. This tricep I got literally nothing.
I say so not like, again, because of the nature of your stroke.
It's not like kind of one side. Yeah.
Wherever.
And then this hand's bad, this hand's good. So it's very opposite for me. Most people's like one side.
Moving forward then, I mean, like, you're obviously very well now, but are you under like sort of, you've been monitored for the future, or do you go back?
I'm under Stoke Mandeville.
Well, we've managed to get into a hospital called Stoke Mandeville,
right,
which is a spinal injury clinic, which isn't to do with stroke, it's a spinal injury, because as Summer now suffers a spinal cord injury, and that will be lifelong. So we're under them, and they support lifelong now.
Okay.
It took us a year to get in with them, but they have Summer now as an outpatient.
Are you working with the Stroke Association and stuff? I know you've done some fundraising and stuff locally.
A few bits. We've done the High Horse.
Done a charity event at the High Horse, and you raised just over £3,000 then.
And then we brought a treadmill for that boy, because I really, really wanted to help him.
Yeah, you were telling me about that before we started filming. So you raised some money for someone to get a treadmill.
Yeah. I had something to work towards, like riding Cindy again. But like,
so is he going through the same thing as you then?
Yeah,
this boy?
he always wanted a treadmill, but of course they're so expensive. So I was like, "I'll buy you one," and he was so appreciative. I think I was really happy to help.
Was that just independent, or did you go through the Stroke Association?
No, because So I actually, following this, I work for the Stroke Association now, just because I am really intrigued about learning stroke and understanding what it does for others. But unfortunately for children, again, there's no financial support for people. So even for the Stroke Association, don't offer financial support, it's advice and guidance. So what Summer wanted to do was raise money so that she could give to people, not just give advice and guidance, but give something. And this particular family, he wanted to buy a treadmill because he wanted to get fit, and he wasn't happy with talking about his stroke, but Summer was, and but we wanted to.
So is that something you'd like to see more of moving forward?
100%. Yeah. I don't know what I want to do. I just want to get out there. Like it's not
share your story.
Yeah, and it's not because of like I want to be famous. Like I want to help people.
Yeah.
And like people nowadays just want followers and all this, and like I worked with a couple of brands, and I think they just want it about them. But like I don't want that.
So if anyone is watching this that wants to work with Summer,
yes, please.
But for genuine purposes only.
Yeah, I don't want anyone. I don't want anything. I just want to get my story out there.
So you got a
because
story.
I've helped so many different people already, and I know I have, like, even if I don't know about it. But like even like horses, I want to know, like, horses help mental health like so much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in that, isn't there? Like the whole therapy thing with horses.
They're just like insane. Like horses are just, I don't know, it's just incredible.
So any horsey people, anyone from any stroke associations, we've got the perfect person to share your story.
I think she's just so positive, and things could have been different. There was a particular time, and I think we were in hospital, and I thought, I can't let Summer see my emotions, and I actually did cry this time, and I just couldn't hold it in anymore. And I was wheeling Summer to the toilet and getting Summer ready. And she said, "What are you crying for?" And I just said, "Well, because I don't want you to be like this." And she just said, "Can you just stop? Because I'm not dead and we've got things to do." And I was like...
That's exactly what I said. I said, "Mom, I hate when she cries. When I
We've got business to do."
Yeah, right. And she basically was like, "Can you just get your shit together? Because we're going to do this." And from that moment, I thought, wow, she's not going to give up. I know where we're going now.
Well, I think you've done an amazing thing sharing your story today. I mean, I think, like, for someone of your age
it is hard, like,
to come out and
like holding stuff in, but, like,
and speak about it the way you have is amazing.
Yeah.
And hopefully, a lot of people can get something out of this. And definitely. I mean, if they do want to get in touch with you, you're on Instagram, and YouTube,
TikTok, and YouTube.
Summer.Lee, Leigh.Chard, on Instagram.
And then on most, like, TikTok, like, if you search up Summer Chard, I will come up.
So Summer Chard, CHARD.
You know, I think it's important to know that right now, Summer being her age, all of her peers are sitting their GCSEs and having prom, and that's two of the big things that we all, you know, I'm sure you remember your GCSEs and your prom, and I do too. Summer doesn't get to do that because a stroke took that away. But we're creating new memories, aren't we? We're holding our own prom. She's not doing her GCSEs, but that's not to say just because someone can't do them now, they can't do them later. So I just think...
And I work, and
Summer's working now.
most of the time. And I keep myself busy and not like I'm sat down.
So I think it's just important for anyone to know that you can, if you navigate...
It just doesn't stop. We will find somewhere else. what to do.
I mean, it's such a positive message to put out there. So regardless of what happens in your life,
there's always something.
Even if you are 13 and have a stroke, you know, there's
teenage years.
If you have a positive mindset and you know, positive outlook, then you can really achieve anything, can't you?
Because if you even know that most people see if you're not positive, then you go down a bad route.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what a way to end, really. Thanks for coming in, Summer, and Liane as well. Thanks for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. And again, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers, Summer. Thank you. No problem.